It's always you versus you. You got to be the one to get up every morning, be disciplined, put in the consistent daily hard work, because that gains success. No coach, no trainer, no mentor, no boss can do it. You versus you.
The best way to make big lifestyle changes is to start small. It's the work that you do every day that gets you to where you want to go. The hardest part is keeping up with the same grueling daily routines when you're just barely seeing results. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I transformed healthy habits into highly engaging, enjoyable, and addictive daily quests by turning my life into a game. Hi friends, my name is Conrad and I'm a creator that is endlessly passionate about finding new ways to tackle everyday challenges. This video is part of our awesome new series where every week we share how our 1,000-strong family of like-minded thinkers, relentlessly passionate about growth, productivity, and learning, use tools to live our best life and get things done. I'll leave a link to the playlist in the description below so you can catch up with all the previous chapters. And if you want to see how gamification has turned me into a productivity machine by living a day in my life, you can skip forward to the timestamp shown below. But if you're new here or want to learn more about the origin story of why we built the gamification project, watch the whole video. My frustration started many years ago. I always wanted to know, why do so many of us not consider personal development to be fun and enjoyable? Why is our first instinct after a busy day of work to go home and lie on the couch and immerse ourselves into the fantasy worlds of our favorite TV shows, movies, or video games? There are only 24 hours in a day, and realistically, you'll only be awake for 14 to 16 hours of them. That means you have 10 hours left to do whatever you need to do. And assuming that you have work that takes up 7 to 8 hours of the day, then you only have 2 hours left to work on personal growth and development. Then, if a habit takes 30 minutes to effectively practice, you only have 4 chances to work on habits every single day. This is the time that everybody gets that you will never get back. So why are we so quick to squander this scarce opportunity for personal growth and development? I thought to myself, if only I could figure this out, my life and so many of my friends and families could change. I dove headfirst into studying all I could about how our brain works, both in theory and in practice. I wanted to know how to hack it to do what we want. I pursued studies in neuroscience and psychology and learned under great psychologists like Jordan Peterson and Dan Dilderman at the University of Toronto. I absorbed countless books on human thought and behavior and got great inspirations from James Clear's Atomic Habits, Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habits, and quite possibly the most transformative book of my life, Mindset by Carol Dweck. I learned that success is a marathon and not a sprint. It's the consistency that drives results. I learned that trying to build multiple habits at the same time is just not realistic. And I learned about fixed mindsets, the mental blocks we impose on ourselves that limits our belief that we can always improve. I studied the different ways games and media capture and maintain our attention to enlist us to engage on their platforms. I learned how they created immediate feedback loops that offered instant gratification and used encouraging visual sound effects to maintain a positive feeling of progression. I learned how they enforced a consistent cycle of engagement and play to keep you coming back for more every time you put down your phone. And when I built my first company, I studied how my colleagues did their best work. I learned that we're the most engaged and productive when we are knowledgeable about the why behind what we do. Throughout this time, I had tried countless productivity tools, all promising the next advancement in personal productivity and organization, only to be more and more disappointed and my brain more scattered. And then, exactly 1 year ago, I found Notion,
and I knew that I had found the right tool to gamify my life. Armed with the knowledge and best practices of building strong habits, I started working on the gamification projects and testing with my friends and family. 1 month later, I released the beta version, and the rest is history. We immediately attracted thousands of like-minded people who were also looking for a way to make work fun, engaging, and enjoyable, and resonated with the idea that we live our best life when we are deeply intentional. From this moment on, my life changed. I became a productivity machine. I was waking up at 6, meditating and exercising regularly. The routines I had been struggling to build all my life were finally consistent. I was motivated. I had clarity over my day. I got stuff done. And at the end of the day, I made sure I leveled up. So, what happened? Well, by gamifying my daily routines, I had created a superpower we can use to build and maintain any healthy habit we want in our lives. By having routines that I was highly motivated in completing, my brain was automatically anticipating and encouraging itself to engage in the task to come next, putting my brain on autopilot, lowering the difficulty of starting the trained behavior and increasing the efficiency of the job. This is a concept called reaching the line of automaticity. If you've ever played a video game, you'll notice this effect. Players slowly progress and obtain achievements without even noticing how many hours they have spent in the game. The loop becomes so second nature that whenever we sit down and have nothing to do, it becomes the first thing that we want to do. It has become an automatic process that builds progression with limited mental burden. So, the first part of the superpower is to make starting and completing habits easy. What's next? Well, in the book The Power of Habit, Duhigg's habit loop consisted of cue, routine, and reward. What I found was that if you weren't able to pinpoint the reward you craved, or if the reward was too long-term, you would find it difficult to stick to the new routines you're trying to build. This is where most people start to falter. If the reward seems unobtainable, or it seems like we aren't making progress towards our goals, we easily get discouraged and demotivated. Gamification solves this. Games make it really simple for you to visualize progress towards big goals, such as upcoming equipment unlocks or the next job advancement, because they're always calculating your progress. So, while I work on each of my habits, I am checking off on my gamified habit tracker, which visually displays my progress on my avatar live. This is a concept called core loops, which you can read more about in an article I'll leave in the description. But in summary, good core loops should have a clear goal, should be short and sweet, and should build on a strong theme.
So, noting the addictive properties of games and social media, I strive to create my own loop so that the trigger, routine, and outcome are all in my direct control, and I'm deeply aware of the why behind my actions. I follow 4 simple loops to make sure that I start the day motivated, have clarity over what matters most, get work done, and level up every day. So let's break down each loop together.
I start every day by waking up at 6 in the morning. I do my morning hygiene and then make my bed. Making my bed is a psychological trigger that helps me prepare for the rest of the day by cleaning up my physical space. Then I join the Coix3 family in daily fitness, where we start with a 15-minute meditation, which leads to a 45-minute exercise session. This helps me get physically active and ready for the day. I rinse off the sweat with a quick shower, and then I grab a healthy breakfast and while eating, reflect on my today's 5. My today's 5 reflection is my opportunity to ask myself, What did I say I wanted to sleep on yesterday? And have I had any breakthrough insights about this topic? What am I feeling and what affirmations do I need to hear today? What is the one thing I must accomplish today, even if I get nothing else done? What's one thing I'll experiment with so I can always find new ways to accomplish everyday tasks? And finally, what are my opportunities for learning and growth today? At the end of this loop, I get the motivation and reassurance that today will be a good day. Then, I join my team for a stand-up meeting at 8 a.m. We discuss what we accomplished yesterday and what we want to accomplish today, as well as any roadblocks that we might be facing. This gives me clarity on what my team is working on and how can I be helpful. After the meeting, I take 30 minutes to write at least 750 words on whatever is on the top of my mind. The material can be inspirations from my morning meditation, my today's 5 reflection, or from my interaction with the team. This process helps me unburden my mind. Then I use an hour to plan out my day. I catch up with my emails, texts, and then I set the top 5 priorities for my day and when I will be working on them. This ensures that I am crystal clear on which 5 things I will try to finish today and when is the best time for me to work on them. Now that I am motivated and have clarity over my day, it's time to get work done. I like joining study and co-working sessions with the community because it gives me a good chance to work in the company of others and share ideas, especially since we're all working remotely. We hold Pomodoro timers together and during the break times, reflect with one another what we had accomplished and how we might have accomplished it better. I repeat this for 4 Pomodoros and then go take a break for lunch. After lunch, I would continue with my work chunks and schedule meetings in between if necessary. In the evenings, it's highly important for me to make sure I leveled up personally. I spend 1 hour of dedicated time to fill up my resonance calendar with an article or book that I've been reading, and then prepare for the accountability party at 9 p.m. with the COEX3 family. We reflect on the day together and share our learnings and gratitude. After, we spend some time working on skills, learning a new language, playing musical instruments, etc. I go outside to take a short walk, come home, put away my electronics, and then go to bed. Hey Google, good night.
Good night, COEX3.
So to summarize, these are the keys to building strong habits. Number 1, visualize habits as daily quests to make them fun and motivating to work on. Number 2, add new healthy habits into routines that include habits you already do to make them easy to start. Number 3, join a family of like-minded people who support your growth journey to get the encouragement to show up and the friendly competition to improve. If you're able to put these motivations into practice, being able to complete 100% of your habits every day can be your new reality and you'll be happily achieving them. Once you're familiar with the templates in our toolbox and want to explore our latest innovations live, catch our live streams every Friday to build together with me and learn how I think about and build systems. We've explored amazing topics such as automating our investments, using Remnote to create a knowledge factory, getting to inbox zero, creating an energy tracker, and just so much more. I'll leave a link to the playlist in the description below for you to check it out. And if you want to learn the fundamentals behind living intentionally and gamifying your life so you can integrate it into any system that you want, you can check out our Power Up Your Motivation course. We're currently in early access and deliver new videos every day, Mondays to Thursdays. Huge thanks to our September, October, and November patrons for your generous support and making it possible for us to do big shares like this. This video took over 50 hours to produce, so let us know in the comments if you want to see more content like this. It's been my absolute pleasure leveling up with everybody in the CoX3 family, and much love to our annual and CoX3 patrons for believing in our vision and supporting us long term. Your support means the world to us and keeps this project going. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week ahead, and remember, make work fun to get stuff done.